Welcome to the Remarkable Retail Podcast special 8-part summer series produced in partnership with Commerce Next. I'm Michael LeBlanc.
And I'm Steve Dennis. This summer, we're mixing up our format to bring you fast-paced interviews with top retail industry leaders, all of whom graced the stage earlier this summer at the Commerce Next Growth Show in New York City.
We'll be back with our regular format and Season 11 on Tuesday, September 2nd. On this episode, we're joined by Sarah Henry, Vice President, Head of Content, Influencer, and Commerce at Walmart US for an inside look at how one of the world's biggest retailers is redefining discovery and engagement. Sarah shares insights on Walmart Creator, Gen Z strategy, and the role of AI in powering shoppable experiences. From Pokémon drops to fashion-forward content, it's a fascinating dive into the intersection of commerce, creativity, and community at scale. Sarah, welcome to the Remarkable Retail Podcast here at Commerce Next. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's great to be here. Great to be back. Thank you for having me.
Wait, not the first time you and I have been on the microphone, so it's great to see you again.
I've been dying to know how the barbecuing is going.
The barbecue goes well. Now, no thanks in small part to my Texas-based partner here, because I get to visit him and then find parts unknown.
Oh, nice.
So it's been fantastic.
He's like your barbecue sleuth.
He's more like a Sherpa, actually.
Sherpa,
yeah.
Barbecue Sherpa.
Points me in the right direction.
I'm adding that to my LinkedIn profile. So.
I'd like a barbecue Sherpa. My dad does barbecue, but he's his own. He's not gonna Sherpa anyplace.
Barbecue iconoclast. How about that?
Right.
There we go. Well, obviously, you and I have met and known each other, but that would not be the assumption for many of the folks listening. So tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do for a living.
Yeah, I'm Sarah Henry. I'm based in the New Jersey, New York area. I am currently at Walmart, and at Walmart US, we look after all things related to content, how we work with creators and influencers, and also social commerce. So been there for the last 7 years, and it's been a wild ride.
I was going to say, you said, I was thinking about 5 to 7 years, because I think it was pre-COVID when we last spoke, and it was really, on the vanguard of influencer marketing as an organization, right? Really adopting and professionalizing it, if that's the right way to think about it.
Was it pre-pandemic?
Yeah.
It was, wasn't it? Oh, yeah. So much has happened.
Snap. It's like a little time warp, right? It's like, that was 5 years ago.
Right.
Where'd that time go?
I'm thinking about, my kid was, up to my knees. Now he's up to my shoulders. I don't know.
That's a good way to benchmark it as well. Now, is that something you always, how did you find your way, not just into retail, but into the social media, the influencer space? Did you just find that opportunity that said, hey, this is really evolving, I think I want to explore this a bit further? Yeah.
Well, I like to say, maybe this is the self-deprecating part. I was a classical pianist who had a couple of degrees and was super burnt out and trying to find what I wanted to do next, and felt like I needed to do something totally different. I got into marketing and e-commerce around the time that you couldn't buy ads on Facebook yet, but social was just getting its start. Facebook was a few years after, you didn't have to have an EDU address to use it. And it was right around the time that brands and retailers were trying to figure out what to do on social. And so at the time, I had started working for an e-commerce brand turned subscription called The Great Courses, the teaching company. They're basically like a Netflix, but for lifelong learning. You can binge watch the history of ancient Egypt or how to take pictures like a Nat Geo photographer. So long form video, which was really big at that time. Yeah. And so, and still is. I started out there doing customer service. I started dabbling around in e-commerce marketing, like CRM, emails, flipping out content on the home pages and things like that. And then social was getting its start, and it all kind of unfolded from there.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Now we're catching you literally before you are about to go on stage to be on a panel called From Gen Z to Alpha, Redefining Acquisition for Emerging Audiences. Can you tell us a little bit about what wisdom you're going to be dropping on stage? I can.
Before we go there, my 7-year-old the other day, he used the word sus for the first time. He's Gen Alpha. I kind of did one. I was like, what? And he used it with the correct context. I was like, okay, Here we go. So here we are. So I'm not going to try to butcher any Gen Z or Gen Alpha slang today, but it's a really fun panel. There's a number of brands and retailers that are going to be on stage, Costs, Reformation, a few others. We're going to be talking about Gen Z insights and trends. I'm going to talk a little bit about what we're seeing and how that's guiding our social and our marketing strategy, and then also how we think about our platform strategy within social commerce. So really exciting.
And if there was one takeaway for our audience, because obviously this will have happened by the time this episode comes out, so we're not destroying any confidence or spoilers here, but if there was one piece of advice you might give to our audience if they're wrestling with some of these same issues, what might that be?
That's a tough one. I mean, the things that we're going to talk about are, I'm going to talk about the Who Knew campaign that we just launched for Walmart. It's really about this notion of the fact that Walmart's been around for decades, but has kind of been hiding in plain sight in terms of the innovative shopping experiences that we've aimed to build for customers, and also benefits that you can get by being a Walmart Plus member, by also just going to Walmart and seeing that we have 500 million items on our app, and then also you can get express delivery with items delivered to your door in as little as an hour. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about creators and influencers and our own platform, Walmart Creator, which is definitely central to how we think about Gen Z strategy, which I think we haven't talked about since because it wasn't around pre-pandemic. We launched it in beta 2 years ago, and it's now been out of beta for around a year and a half. And so lots of really fun stuff there tied to the creator economy and Gen Z. But I would say the thing that that we're constantly thinking about is that social and product discovery in general on social, but just in general, is something that is transforming the way that people shop. It's not happening in just aisles anymore. It's not happening in just search anymore. It's happening in our feeds. And with the rise of AI-enabled processes and programs and platforms, the game board is changing every single day. And so I think the takeaway would be my very long-winded way of saying, I think you have to have your finger on the pulse of what's changing every day, and testing right now is important.
We'll be right back with more of our interview with Sarah Henry from Walmart right after this short break. Promotional support for the Remarkable Retail podcast is provided by Crave Retail. What's retail's biggest blind spot? The fitting room. A shopper wants to buy, but can't get the help they need. That's why global brands partner with Crave Retail, the market leader in smart fitting rooms. Crave connects that moment to your business, giving shoppers a voice, associates real-time alerts, and teams the data to buy smarter. The result? Higher conversion, better decisions, a seamless experience. Learn how fast you can elevate your fitting rooms at craveretail.com. If the world has changed so very, very much, why have so many organizations changed so little? As the pace of disruption accelerates, leaders need the courage and the insight to aim higher in the value they deliver, move faster than they ever have before, and take the bold action to leap ahead of the competition. With Leaders Leap, Transforming Your Company at the Speed of Disruption, Steve's latest breakthrough bestseller, you'll discover why so many companies fall into the trap of the timid transformation. More than anything, you'll learn about the essential mind leaps leaders need to make to win the future. Leaders Leap is available just about everywhere books are sold, as well as on Audible and as an ebook on Kindle for just $9.99. Promotional support for the show comes from Find Mine. Why choose between brand storytelling and driving business results when Find Mine delivers both? Find Mine's innovative enterprise platform generates breakthrough customer experiences for top brands like Lululemon and Ann Taylor. And this fall, Find Mine's democratizing the magic with a new GPT-style system for marketers, merchandisers, and product managers that adds improved features to your customer journey without enterprise contracts or getting stuck in product development backlogs. To get a jump on the competition, join the waitlist today at findmine.com/remarkableretail. How do you amplify the wow in your stores? With next-level in-store signage and displays from Glass Media. Glass Media boldly challenges the status quo by leveraging its world-class design, engineering, and manufacturing to elevate brand presence and drive both engagement and conversion. Find out why leading brands and retailers worldwide trust Glass Media to make their stores more remarkable. To take your visual merchandising to the next level, go to glass-media.com. You've been talking about Walmart. A question sometimes we ask our guests to tell us about the company, but we're not going to spend much time on that. But what might surprise listeners about Walmart? You've already touched on a few things, but if you think about something that they don't know and would be surprised at.
It's funny. We just launched this campaign. Who knew? It's funny because our friend Walton Goggins is in it, and he talks about a number of things that you didn't know you could buy at Walmart. I think in the course of that ad, he talks about clogs. He talks about accordions.
Accordions. I was trying to figure out what that motion meant. Stretch the answer.
Right. And so, I think the sheer amount of things we sell, but like the things that you wouldn't necessarily think of at Walmart are really interesting. Like last week, we just had an exclusive Pokémon card drop that was only available at Walmart, and it's one of those things where if you think about Walmart as the place to go and replenish your refrigerator, go for your weekly trip, or the place where you can find the baby formula and diapers that you need on a weekly basis, you might not be thinking about the fact that we sell accordions,
right?
Or that we, as a maybe a busy parent, like you can have it all. Like it's not just about getting dinner on the table. It's not just about having enough diapers in the house. It's also about the fact that like we can style you with that really cute jumpsuit from Free Assembly, which is what I'm wearing right now, even though you can't see it.
Very fetching.
Well, you guys can see it.
Well,
Nobody else
can. Let's talk about the evolution of your role. So from social media, social influencing, now you've just even looking at your title, it now says commerce in your title. So it's clear that there's an evolution in a couple of different directions. But the first one I want to get to is tying. It's always been mindful that this is all about commerce. I mean, that's no surprise that Walmart would be doing this to grow business. But is that a more direct connection now? And I guess is that part of what that platform is meant to do, is to tie action to influencers to sales? That seems like a hard thing to do, but talk about that evolution.
It is. It's actually one of the things I'm going to talk about in this panel in a little bit too. But when you think about, sort of social behavior and the way that people are discovering products, and then you think about Gen Z audiences and younger audience, the notion of this like funnel where certain channels only do one thing, and then you got to start at the top and bring people down, and it's awareness, then consideration, and conversion. It's out the window. What we are finding is that all of that's happening at once in a lot of cases. And so for us, creators and influencers is not only a way to drive consideration and that discovery moment of like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know I needed this and now I've got to have it. But it's also a way to connect it to seamless ways to buy through shoppable experiences. And so for us, it's important regardless of the role of the channel or what part you want to label it in the funnel. We're increasingly tying our marketing vehicles to easy ways for customers to shop. And so the customer experience, even if it's starts off Walmart, is something that in many cases can be linked to an easy way to buy.
And you're happy with measurement? You're saying I can account for, to the degree that the organization is happy with, the resources you have tied to the results that you get. You're happy with the tools and everything you guys do for that?
Yeah, look,
more work to be done.
There's always more work to be done. I would say the progress that we've made, particularly in the last few years, has been really significant in our ability to look at short-term attribution models, look at what's happening on a longer-term basis and on an MMM basis, and then also looking at a customer value basis as well.
One last question, and I'll pass the mic back to Steve to bring us home. You mentioned AI. It's hard to have a conversation, without talking about AI. I feel
there should be a game around this. Like get through one podcast without it coming up.
Well, we always have an over/under side bet going on.
When's it going to come in? I feel like I'm very conflicted in your line of work with AI, because I feel like in one way it's a big enabler, and in another way, then anybody can do it, and it's too much scale, and it's going to become fake, and it's going to become too common. It feels like a balance that you've got to kind of keep an eye on. AI influencers, these people don't even exist, versus using it as a tool.
There's companies like where you can create an avatar of yourself, and the avatar can like make the money for you. It's a really interesting emerging space. I mean, for us, the way that we think about everything that we do is that we're tech-led and people-powered, and that goes for our associates. That goes for how we think think about creator innovation and how we can solve for them. And so particularly when we think about our owned platform, Walmart Creator, one of the things that we are thinking a lot about is the same way we create these valuable shopping experiences for customers that are, yes, saving them money, but also, creating value in bigger ways. What does that look like for creators, and how can AI help in that? And that could be,
or identify, do you ask your creators, hey, tell me if you're using AI because we need to know that, or we'd want to know that?
We're always looking for feedback from creators directly, and we're lucky to have a really great group of tens of thousands of creators who are regularly giving us feedback on what's working, what they're seeing in the industry, and what they think we should evolve. And
Tens of thousands.
Steve, what do you think of that?
Seems like a lot. Before we let you go, anything that you're really paying attention to in the future that we haven't talked about, kind of on your radar screen, you're excited about for the balance of the year to work on?
It's all changing so fast. I feel like we've covered a lot of ground in our 14 minutes together.
Action-packed.
Yeah.
More insight for your money. That's our positioning.
Look, I think we're still in a nascent world with social commerce in general, with the way that the creator economy is growing, with the blurring line between creator and content creation as a viable career path for folks. And I'm really excited to see where that goes and how we can help solution for folks.
Well, thanks, Sarah, so much for joining us here at Commerce Next. And I know your panel is going to be great, so I don't need to wish you good luck, but I'll wish you good luck anyway.
Thank you both. I really appreciate it. Awesome. Great to see you.
Thanks for listening. Please don't forget to give us that 5-star rating and review wherever you enjoy your podcast.
And be sure to subscribe and check out our latest retail store tour videos on the Remarkable Retail Podcast YouTube channel.